Hello, everyone, and thank you for joining this update from the Global DARE Foundation. My name is Diane Mitchell, and I serve as the Scientific Director for Global DARE. Today, I'm sharing the work that we've been doing together to build the Adult Refsum Disease Research Roadmap, a coordinated plan meant to guide scientific and clinical progress over the next several years. This roadmap is being shaped through the collaboration of clinicians, researchers, patients, and caregivers. And our purpose is simple: to create a thoughtful, evidence-informed path forward that reflects the realities of living with adult Refsum disease and the areas where research can make the greatest difference. In rare diseases, research is often done in scattered pockets, making it hard to translate new findings into day-to-day care. A roadmap helps to bring all of those efforts together. The goal is to create a shared, prioritized strategy, one that helps us to identify the most important unanswered questions, improve diagnosis and monitoring, and guide the development of future therapies. A roadmap strengthens coordination, it helps to reduce duplication, and it allows us to focus limited resources, the time, expertise, and funding, where they have the most meaningful impact. Ultimately, it helps ensure that every study, every collaboration, and every dollar invested advances the care and quality of life of people living with adult Refsum disease. To build a roadmap that reflects the complexity of adult Refsum disease, we needed perspectives from multiple disciplines. Adult Refsum disease affects neurological function, vision, metabolism, and overall health, so progress requires expertise across all of these different areas. Over the last several weeks, we've held meetings for 6 specialized work groups. These groups include clinicians and scientists who have studied or cared for adult Refsum patients for many years, alongside experts who bring new tools and new approaches from related fields. Each work group is reviewing the current evidence, identifying gaps, and developing recommendations that will anchor the roadmap. Together, they form the backbone of this effort. The apheresis work group. Apheresis allows doctors to quickly reduce phytanic acid levels, yet many important questions remain unanswered. This group is looking closely at questions including which procedures are most effective for long-term management, how best to measure treatment response, the logistical barriers patients face across different countries, and how to develop practical, evidence-based guidelines for clinicians. Right now, a patient's care can vary widely depending on where they live or which provider that they see. The goal of this group is not to reinvent care, but to bring clarity to what we know and to highlight where more research is needed so that care becomes safer and more consistent worldwide. The neurology work group. Neurological symptoms such as gait changes, numbness, balance difficulties, and fatigue have a major impact on daily life, yet they're not well documented in the scientific literature. This group is hoping to address questions such as how to measure neurological progression. They're evaluating clinical exams, nerve conduction studies, gait and balance assessments, imaging, and other approaches to determine which are the most informative and most feasible. Other questions include factors that may influence progression. Diet, metabolic stress, inflammation, and oxidative stress may all contribute, but we need stronger data to understand how. Also, what should be included in the natural history study? Their work will help define the neurological outcomes that should be tracked to support both today's clinical care and tomorrow's therapeutic trials. And they'll also be looking at capturing patient experience. Many patients describe fluctuations in their neurological symptoms. The group is exploring how to document those patterns rather than relying on single time point measurements. A clear neurological picture will help clinicians offer better guidance now and ensure that we're prepared for future interventions. The nutrition and exercise work group. Dietary management has been central to adult Refsum disease care for decades, but many families still face uncertainty, partly because the evidence base is still limited. This group is exploring how restrictive the diet truly needs to be, how needs differ by age, activity level, and health status, the long-term effects of low-fat diets on bone and metabolic health, the role of exercise in supporting strength, balance, and fatigue, and what research is needed to help clinicians offer clear and individualized guidance. They are also reviewing the underlying nutritional science related to phytanic acid and fatty acid metabolism. Because diet affects daily life more than almost any other aspect of adult refsum disease care, this group's work has the potential to improve safety, confidence, and quality of life for many families. The Vision and Retinopathy Work Group. For many in the adult refsum disease community, vision changes are among the most difficult parts of the condition. Yet for decades, the mechanisms behind retinal degeneration in adult refsum disease have been poorly understood. The Vision Work Group is examining issues such as the biological drivers of retinal cell loss, the roles of lipid accumulation, inflammation, and oxidative stress, earlier detection methods, especially imaging tools that may spot changes sooner, recommended monitoring schedules, and the landscape of emerging retinal therapies and supplements. By clarifying what we know and identifying where further research is needed, this group aims to support more consistent monitoring and open the door to better strategies for preserving vision. The Emerging Therapies Work Group. This group is looking ahead to what adult refsum disease treatment could become in the future. While therapy development takes time, the field of genetic and metabolic medicine is moving quickly, and we want the adult refsum community to be ready when the opportunity arises. This group is looking at omega oxidation enhancer strategies, potential small molecule approaches, what biomarkers would be required to evaluate treatment effects, and where foundational scientific gaps still exist. The work does not promise specific therapies, but it does help us to understand which scientific tools and research investments will be required to explore therapeutic possibilities responsibly and effectively. The Research Assets Work Group. Strong research depends on strong infrastructure. This group is focused on building and harmonizing the core tools that will support all future progress, including a robust natural history study, harmonized data collection, what cell, organoid, and animal models are needed for early testing, biobanking and patient-derived samples, consistent outcome measures, and expanded patient registry with variant curation. These assets form the foundation on which every future study and every future discovery will rely. The path to the Chicago Global DARE meeting. All through the winter and spring, each work group will continue to refine its recommendations, identify knowledge gaps, and outline feasible research priorities. In June, at the United Leukodystrophy Foundation meeting in Chicago, we will bring all 6 work groups together for an in-person research roadmap summit. There, we will integrate the reports, identify cross-cutting themes, and begin shaping a unified roadmap that reflects expert insight and lived experience. After that, we will share the draft roadmap with the full adult refsum disease community for feedback. This will be the first time that the adult refsum disease community has a coordinated, consensus-driven research plan. Back in October, many of you participated in our patient and caregiver survey. Your responses have been incredibly valuable, and I want to sincerely thank everyone who has contributed. Your input is shaping which research questions are the most important, which symptoms and daily challenges deserve more attention, how quality of life outcomes should be measured, what barriers that you face in diet, monitoring, and access to care, and where additional support services are needed. These insights are not an add-on. They are central to the roadmap. Every work group has been asked to include patient-identified priorities in its recommendations. Thank you to every patient, caregiver, clinician, researcher, and supporter who has contributed to this effort. This roadmap is truly a community-driven project, and it reflects the shared commitment to improving outcomes for people living with adult refsum disease. Your experiences and your insights give purpose to this work. Your involvement will continue to shape the path ahead as we move towards our meeting in Chicago and ultimately the development of our first unified research roadmap for adult refsum disease. Thank you for being part of this journey, and I look forward to the progress that we'll make together. Thank you.